What's up, Star Wars fans? Let's review Chapter 22 of The Mandalorian Season 3. The episode opens seeing the Mandalorian mercenaries at work, and it's revealed that Axe Woves is their new leader. It's also interesting to note that the Mandalorians have under their control Moff Gideon's light cruiser. And as Bo-Katan and Din Djarin make their way to Plaza 15, where these Mandalorian mercenaries have been hired as protection, we get to see that there's also quite a substantial fleet supporting this light cruiser. But unfortunately for Din Djarin and Bo-Katan, the elected rulers of Plaza 15 want to talk to them. And somewhat like I predicted in my preview video, Bo-Katan and Din Djarin have a mission to complete before they can talk to Axe Woves and convince these Mandalorians to join their cause. Certainly Plaza 15 is different than any other Outer Rim planet that we've seen previously. It has far more wealth than a planet like Tatooine or Lothal, and far more technology than either of those planets as well. And I gotta say, I wasn't really a huge fan of this. But at the same time, the Outer Rim is a huge place, and it makes sense that there would be a variety of different planets, and certainly some very wealthy ones like Plaza 15. But that all out of the way, the elected officials are having trouble with their droid workers, and they charge Bo-Katan and Din Djarin with tracking down rogue droids that are harassing citizens of their city. If Bo-Katan and Din Djarin can track down these rogue droids, then they can have an audience with the Mandalorian mercenaries. So that's exactly what Bo-Katan and Din Djarin decide to do, and really Din Djarin and Bo-Katan make quite the team. Whereas Bo-Katan takes the lead and is an excellent communicator with the nobility of the city, when it comes to communicating with the Ugnaughts down in the depths of the city, Din Djarin is the one to take the lead and knows how to get the information from them. And even as they go to the droid cantina, which by the way I predicted in my preview video, it is a combination of their different communication styles, almost a good cop bad cop combination that allows them to be successful in communicating with the droids. So I think one of the major things that's being put forth in this episode by the creators is that Din Djarin and Bo-Katan make an excellent team, despite the fact that Bo-Katan is Mandalorian nobility and Din Djarin is from the Children of the Watch, who are literally living in the sewers of a city early on in this series. Their combined experiences make for an excellent team, no doubt alluding to the fact that once all the Mandalorians come together, the mercenaries and the Children of the Watch, they're going to be quite the team as well. But getting back to the actual story, Bo-Katan and Din Djarin are able to track down the actual cause of the droid uprising, and it turns out that Commissioner Hellgate, played by Christopher Lloyd, is the one behind the droid disruptions. Furthermore, it turns out that he was actually a separatist, and that he seemed to be a sympathizer of Count Dooku. Obviously, this episode had lots of connections back to the prequels. It was great seeing the B-1 and B-2 battle droids, and having a character who was hanging on to his old separatist ideals, well, that was certainly unexpected and interesting as well. But that out of the way, Bo-Katan and Din Djarin are finally allowed to talk to the Mandalorian mercenaries. And once again, that theme of communication comes up as Din Djarin asks Bo-Katan what is her plan, and she simply replies by saying that she'll know once she arrives. And certainly upon her arrival, Axe Woves makes it pretty plain to see that he's enjoying being the leader of these mercenaries. So Bo-Katan decides on a very direct course of action and challenges him to single combat, something we've seen before when it comes to Mandalorians. And in what I thought was a decent choreographed fight, not the greatest, Bo-Katan's able to eke out a win against Axe, therefore claiming leadership over the Mandalorians, and that's when we get the twist of this episode. Din Djarin steps forward and shares his story on Mandalore, the fact that he was defeated by a creature on Mandalore, and that Bo-Katan was able to defeat that creature using the Darksaber. Well, that makes her the rightful owner of the Darksaber. And I love how this moment shows us that Din Djarin, yes, is this great warrior, but he's also able to successfully use diplomacy to bring the Mandalorians back together and help Bo-Katan become their leader. That said, overall, I thought this was another solid episode directed by Bryce Dallas Howard. As I already stated, I really like Bo-Katan and Din Djarin working together, though again, as I mentioned in my preview video, it would have been really nice to get a Grogu and Din Djarin episode here. We just haven't seen much about their relationship this season. I should also mention that I'm a little undecided on Jack Black being in this Star Wars universe. It sort of took me out of the moment seeing him there, but in retrospect, he played played that character perfectly and won me over by the end of the episode. But hey, Star Wars fans, that's all the time I have for my review today. Let me know in the comments below what you think. And as always, I'm Mike, and remember, the Force will be with you always.